this is where I found it. It's squeaky.
That stuff is where
This is this bright green leaf, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one.
nearly there.
Good.
We'll see.
Ten
Yeah.
minutes. That'll be nice.
Yep. All on my own.
Stand at the bottom of the hill and watch you go up from there, so
Yeah.
better. Can we pause here, please?
Yes, we can. Brush your feet.
Crispy bones, nation bones. Oh dear, let me sit down now. Well, when is it coming anyway?
A couple of days' time, I hope.
They're
Then I'm-
delivering it.
Yep.
And then you're off under your own steam.
Then I'm off on my own steam. I won't need any police manpower. I'm on your own.
What do you reckon you're meant to do with it?
Soup it up.
See, I would have thought.
After my department have completed tests and finalised the design, the new electric wheelchair is put into production. The first stage of manufacture is to cut the tube into appropriate sizes. Having cut it, it's deburred, the ends are cropped to make them fit each other where necessary. The tube is drilled, bent, indented, or anything else that needs to be done with it. Then it's degreased, and it goes onto the brazing section. And there, many, though not all, of the machine components also join the tubes to form complete brazed assemblies. They can be big or small, footrest assemblies, side frames, cross braces, brake parts, anything like that. While this brazing stage is going on, other machined and bought out parts will be being assembled, hubs into wheels, spindles into hubs and all the rest of it. Wheels will be built, spoked up and piled up ready to join the frames after they've been chromium plated or painted if they're a ministry chair, and built up into a final chair. Obviously, even the assembly, different stages go on at once. You may have a couple of or two people making footrest assemblies, while others are assembling side frames and cross braces. Yet again, at the same time, the sewing section are making upholstery, the foaming section are making arm pads. All finally come together and are built into a wheelchair, which is passed to inspection. There is a complete inspection schedule and an inspection card which the inspector can sign at each stage. Finally, every power chair is run through every possible manoeuvre, fast and slow, for at least 10 minutes. And after that he signs for it and it's ready to go for cleaning, packing and dispatch.
I've got wheels and you can't hold me, now that I know what it's like to be free. I've got wheels, just watch me glide, I need nobody by my side. I've got power, I've got style, I can do a 20-minute mile. A fully independent entity, technology has set me free. I've got wheels and you can't hold me, now that I know what it's like to be free. I've got wheels, just watch me glide, I need nobody by my side. I've got power, I've got style, I can do a 20-minute mile. A fully independent entity, technology has set me free.
Basingstoke's got the shopping precincts. There's no curbs at all, really. There's up and down slopes, but the power of the chair will take you up and down the slopes just like that. One of the things what used to annoy me intensely was when you're being pushed, you're always being pushed into the back of people's ankles. People always walk too slow, but with the chair I have now, I can just nip round people. I don't have to wait for them to walk along, and you have to walk along behind them all the time. Another big problem in an ordinary chair, if you were shopping, people pushing you along say, oh, look in that window. You're pointing down the road and they're looking in the shop. But now with nobody, I can just turn around and look in the shop myself. I can remember going round Basingstoke once before and not one person took a blind bit of notice of me. And if I had somebody with me, that would be totally different. They look and look and look. The only person I can remember the first time nipping round Basingstoke, I had a little boy behind me saying to his father, look, Dad, can I have a go on it? When I was in a pushchair, or transit chair, call it what you will, one of the things I used to hate was going shopping. But now I've got this electric chair, I love wandering around looking in the shops. If I see something and I've got the money, I know I can go in and have a chat with whoever's there. I noticed since I've been riding around, people stop and talk to you, which is a thing never done when you used to be pushed around. They never talk to you. It's funny, people that push you, they won't talk to you. Yet when I'm out by myself, people will stop and talk. Because I think they see you more as a person. If you're being pushed, it's a person behind you. I can get up a 5-inch curb without anybody with me, which is very useful at times, although the most councils are trying to get rid of their curbs and places for wheelchairs. There's still a hell of a lot, too many places still, where you can't get up or down. You're hungry and you're going down the street. You feel like something to eat. What do? I look through the windows if I see too many people in a restaurant. I never go in because it's only happened once where I've been refused entry because there was too many people there. And other excuses too. Oh, we can't be bothered to move the tables. People should put themselves out too. I mean, money's as good as anybody else's. Now, there's one big problem, and that's loos. Now, we're all battery driven, so we can't afford to tear around for 2 or 3 hours looking for a loo. And I think that every council in the country should be made to build a loo for disabled in a place where we can all get to.
Now that I've got mobility, the whole wide world seems welcome to me. Except for the lady in the local cafe, says wheelchair people go away. The editor manager says the same. Fire regulations, what a terrible shame. One of these days that the chance comes round, me and my mates are gonna run them down.
Now we are getting decent electric chairs on the market. We are looking for some sort of van where you can just drive an electric chair into without being lifted in and out of a car seat. The paravans, or what we call paravans, are really minivans with the top cut off, then built up. So it's made higher. And then the floor has to be lowered too. If you've got the money to buy one, you've got to buy the minivan. So that's £2,500. And then if you're going to convert it, it's going to cost you another £1,500 at least to convert it. I'm sure if somebody would invent one and build it, it'd be damn sight cheaper than buying a new minivan and then converting it from there. If you want a paravan nowadays, today, and you've got the money to buy one, you have it designed to suit you. And this is where the expense comes in. But going around looking at the paravans that are on the road, which have been converted from all sorts of different garages, they've all been built to suit their owners. But you can take the best from bits of all them and build a production model, because I mean most of the requirements are exactly the same as everybody else's. You're not allowed to stay in a wheelchair when you go to most cinemas or theatres, because they just throw the fire regulations at you. I think if a cinema can take their seats out, and 2 theatres I know of where I've been, if you let them know you're coming, we'll take seats away so you can drive in your wheelchair. Fire regulations, what are they? Some cinemas theatres will throw them at you, so you have to be lifted out of your chair, which you're a bigger risk anyhow, because if there is a fire, how the hell do you get out? I don't see why some theatres and cinemas will be so helpful and others just couldn't care less.
This is no fantasy, no careless product of wild imagination.
To get outside and drive up some country lane all by yourself, stopping when you want to, sunning yourself when you want to, you ain't got a care in the world. And that's how it should be. I mean, years and years ago, the disabled were kept out of sight. This is the trouble which we've been fighting ever since. Because you were hidden away and nobody will ever see a disabled person. I won't say now it's like rats coming out the holes, but now, as I said, more and more people are being disabled. They've got to be catered for. So I think as time goes on, more and more people start buying electric chairs, they're going to go out more and more. So there's got to be access made for all of them.
Good, isn't it?
We've had enough of being hidden away. Wheelchair people are here to stay. We only want to be like you, do all the things that you like to do. Give us a chance and we'll join you in the pub, theater and the cinema queue. Why should anyone turn us away? We're usually sober and we pay our way. I've got wheels and you can't hold me, now that I know what it's like to be free. I've got wheels, just watch me glide, I need nobody by my side. I've got power, I've got style, I can do a 20-minute mile. A fully independent entity, technology has set me free.